How many of you have a smartphone? How many of you have a device like a tablet or a computer or an iPad? Okay. How many of you don't? Don't. 1, 2, 3. Isn't it amazing? I suspect if I had asked this group 3 years ago, quite a few. 5 years ago, we would have probably had maybe 15 that would have raised their hands, yes. And so you're saying, Beth, what does this have to do with anything? Well, this week I was watching the Today Show, and they were showing, you know how they have the people go on and they show little products? And they had their technical guru person on, and he showed some products. And I knew we had reached mainstream when the product he showed was something called Calm, a meditation program for your smartphone. Now, it was not available on my iPad, but it's certainly available on my phone. And if I can turn my phone on, it says, welcome. Making time each day to quiet your mind has life-changing benefits. In a moment, you'll take the first steps toward unlocking your inner reservoir of calm. So find a comfortable, and I'm sure it says place, and then it gives you the opportunity to choose your sound and the length of time, and it's going to lead you in meditation. It's got all the steps. I remember that 15 years ago when I came here, I had a conversation at a Habitat for Humanity house build where someone was asking me, what do you believe in unity? And I told them our 5 basic beliefs. And, they were talking, I said that, you can make conscious contact with the God within. And I said, well, how do you do that? And I said, well, we do it through meditation. And the crossbars went up. You mean open your mind to the devil? It's exactly what the person said to me. And I look at how things have changed over 15 years. Isn't it amazing? We all have new technology. We're all closer to each other than we ever were. We know what's happening around the corner and around the world. And this month, we're talking about increasing our connection. Increasing our connection, but to increase it at the spiritual level. To become a mystic. And I've been using a reading that touched me, and I will probably read this week and then again next week, and you may never hear it again, but it has touched me. Let you be the me in the I when I read this. There is that within me which knows. I am not only one with this power, and this power is actually flowing through me now. I am not only unified with the divine presence around me, this presence is my presence. It is the presence of my real and true self. I am forever one with life. There is that within me which knows. From the Upanishads, which is from the Hindu faith. He is the one, the Lord, and innermost self of all. There is that which is within me. Of one form, he makes of himself many forms. To him who sees the self revealed in his own heart belongs eternal bliss. Isn't that beautiful? From the Tao Te Ching, from Taoism. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. From the Precepts of the Gurus, a Tibetan Buddhist text, one must know that no existing thing has an independent existence. One must know that all things are interdependent. And according to the Gospel of John from our Bible, Jesus said, I and my Father are one. Understand that the Father is in me and I am in the Father. You and your Father are one. Understand that the Father, Mother, God is in you and you are in Mother and Father God. Matthew King, chief noble red man of the Lakota tribe. Everyone is sacred. You're sacred and I'm sacred. Every time you blink your eye or I blink my eye, God blinks his eye. God sees through your eyes and my eyes. We are sacred. Those quotes came from the book, The Ways of the Mystic by Joan Borysenko. They all say the same thing. We are one. One with that power inside. And now our telephone's going to help us learn that. It's been said, and it's been said, and it's been said in many hundreds of ways across time. And now it's exploding on the scene, even in your cell phone. In unity, we have an affirmation. There is only one presence and one power in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. There is only one presence and one power in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. When you live in appearances, or you're looking at the circumstances of your life, and they look less than beautiful, there are some things that you need to have at your ready. You need a tool. One of my tools is the prayer for protection. Another of my tools is there's only one presence and one power in my life. God, good, omnipotent. I'm standing in line at the DMV and I don't got the right paperwork. There is only one power and one presence in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. There is only one power and one presence in your life. God, the good, omnipotent. I'm seeing the good now. So if that's true, then the question is, how do you access that truth? And so this is Jesus' teaching from Matthew 6. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites who like to pray standing in the synagogues and at the street corners so they may be seen by men. Truly I say to you that they have already received their reward. But as for you, when you pray, enter into your inner chamber, lock the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. who sees in secret shall himself reward you openly. Interestingly, right after that, he teaches us the Lord's Prayer. But that idea of going into the closet and praying in secret, I believe that sets us up for the mystical experience. I saw Deepak Chopra on Super Soul Sunday, and they were doing Meditation 101, and there was something that he said that, I don't know if I can read it because it was at 3 o'clock in the morning when I saw it. Deepak says, "My body is busy, but I'm not." He says, because he's been meditating for 40 years. And he went on as a doctor to say that the benefits of meditating daily is that it manages stress. And that he says that stress is the pandemic health problem of our world. And that if we meditate, we will lower our blood pressure, we'll reduce our heart rate, we'll have improved relationships, improved mind function. And he says, and after it does that, after you've practiced enough for it to do all of that, and you continue to practice, he says it opens the door to source, to creativity. And it opens the door to greater love and compassion and peace and joy. And so when we look at ourselves in the mirror and we see anything less than peace and joy, we can know we haven't meditated enough. I like the way that he presented it because he said it is a mental technique that has nothing to do with doctrine, ideology, or belief. Once again, taking it out of the religious cloak, bringing it mainstream, putting it on the cell phone. He went on to say that we go into meditation and we're silent, and it's a process that takes time after time after time. It's a practice that the first 2 times you do it, the first 5 times you do it, chances are you don't recognize anything. But after a while, the silence will show up not as an audible voice, but it most usually shows up as intuition. So we want to have a mystical experience. We want to have all of the divine knowledge available to us. And I don't know how many times when we've prayed on Tuesday and Thursday, somebody has said, I have a decision I need to make, and I need divine guidance. Have you ever had a decision you needed to make, and you needed divine guidance? One of the things that we learned, one of the processes in our Be Peace or connection practice was to turn our attention to our heart, do heart focus, heart breathing, think of something we appreciate, and then to ask the question we need an answer to and wait for the answer. I'm sure if I went around the room, I would have some interesting comments about what people have heard in meditation. Joseph Dispenza, and you might know Joseph Dispenza because he was in The Secret. He wrote an article that was in a Science of Mind magazine. And he said that he talked about going into the silence and the difference between the letter of silence and the spirit of silence. And I tell you, when I read that, I thought, what does he mean? The letter of the silence is just that, not speaking and not disturbing the silence around you. And he said that the spirit of the silence is somewhat different. He says when you practice with the spirit of silence, you'll get to the place where there's silence and a car goes by and you note it, but you're able to go back into the silence. You don't deny it. The phone rings and you pick it up and you take care of business and you go back into the silence. Maybe more likely the doorbell ring and you have to go to the door. But that doesn't disturb your silence. Your silence is a place of beingness. And you know it when you're there. And my wish and my hope for you is that you all experience a place of silence. And so all morning long, I've been talking about silence. And so now I want us to have some silence. And so I'm going to invite our musicians back, and we're going to sing, happens to be my favorite song, One Clear Voice, because that's what we're doing. We're preparing ourselves to hear one clear voice and to prepare ourselves for a time of meditation.